Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing okay. Now today we have another one. This time I'm not in the palace. I'm not in the palace this time. This time we are walking towards the ship that was known to millions of people in the UK. It's called the Cutty Sark. So we're heading there today. There we go. We're heading there today. This is one of the ships that the late Queen Elizabeth, opened as well. She blessed the ship and all who sails on her. So that's her there. Dark, timeless, beautiful, preserved. Once the fastest tea clipper on the sea, now resting proudly in Greenwich, holding stories of stormy voyage, salt-stained deck, and chase of wind and fortune. So here we are in the souvenir shop of the Cutty Sark. It's lots of stuff related to ships and lots of colorful stuff that's inside of the museum. So again, there was a tour guide for us and for everyone who was on the tour. We had a tour guide and we had a person who works at the museum who told us about the ship and everything. They're saying that these are some figureheads of people who, these are the people that, there's a gentleman who weren't going on the ship, so because he wasn't well, so he stayed behind. And he just take waste materials that was left behind from the ship and sat there and waited for the ship to come back while he did all his making of these statues. It's like embroidery, if I was saying the word correctly. So here we are at the bottom of the ship, underneath the ship. So there's a big ship here, and we're underneath it. And because obviously it's and we're underneath it while we wait for the gentleman that's gonna tell us more about the ship underneath it. But it was a sight. It was beautiful, beautiful. I've never been there before. Heard of it, but I thought it was further away from where I live. But obviously it's not. Just around the corner. So but it's a lovely ship. I was saying to the others, like, I can't wait to get inside of it to see what's inside. Now this hat is for the man John Willis. I think he was one of the main characters that was on the ship. So we are touring, we are looking around. Obviously Cutty Sark was a tea clipper. It carries tea back and forth from to China, and all over. It takes weeks and weeks to get back to England. They navigate themselves through stormy waters and all that sort of olden days stuff. There was no sat nav, there was no technology, there was nothing back in those days. They had us to just like to follow the moon, and with the moon and the sun to tell their time. So people back then was very, very clever and very, very smart, because they use their head and their mind, and they think, not like now, and people just, everything we do, we go on our phones. They were very smart people, so they know how to get from one end of the world, Earth, to the other end of so they were very clever people. So we were just walking through the ship, just looking around. I didn't know what to expect because I've never been on a ship. Actually, not. I have never been on a ship, to be honest. So I was just mesmerized by the whole thing. A few years ago, there was a fire that ignited, and this ship here was burnt I think the original features of the ship was bad, so they had to like use some of the, they could save some of the boards and stuff that was on the original ship, and they use it on this ship, but most of the inside of the ship was burnt out. So they could salvage some of it, but not all of it got salvaged. But yeah, so these are some of the boxes that the tour guide said that was used. Not the exact boxes, but this was how it looked to take the tea from a running about. And all the men that worked on the ship said not only tea they brought other stuff as well. This is the upper deck of the ship, and yeah, it was, I feel like I just want to run and just slide down on the board. Looks really, really cool. I really enjoyed myself with that. This ship, it was okay. You know, you learn a lot of stuff, you know. But I think for me, I think it's mostly not gonna be sexist or anything like that, or you know. But guys enjoy things like this more than girls do. So the guys that was there, they were so fascinated with it, or I was not really fascinated with it. You know, the palace I was fascinated with because princesses and all that sort of stuff. But the ship wasn't something that was fascinating. Unless you like these things, then it's great. Inside the ship was absolutely stunning, and there are lots and lots more features there in the ship. But it was not something that I wanted, to like. Oh my God! But I learned a lot. It's beautiful. And you're gonna see also in the lower deck how they slept, how they use the toilet, their living room, their kitchen. I think they showered in the sea or something of the sort. But yeah, it's just amazing. And the bed where they sleep, it was amazing. So here is the ship. Welcome to Cutty Sark. Cutty Sark was launched in 1869. She was built on one thing: speed. One of the fastest tea clipper ever to sail from China to Britain, racing to deliver fresh cargo before rivals ever made it past the. Her name comes from a Scottish poem. A witch in a cutty sark, a short shirt fitting for a ship that danced across oceans like she had magic in her sail. But it wasn't just tea she carried. She later hauled wool from Australia, breaking records and cementing her place in maritime history. Imagine it. The roar of the wave, canvas snapping in the wind, sailing and clinging. Storm chased from across the ocean sea. Now she rested here, fitted above the ground, a cathedral of sea, her dark wood gleam under soft light. Ever bold and broad, a relic of adventure. Standing beneath her hull, I don't just see a ship. I see ambition, I see speed, I see survival. A reminder of a time when crossing the ocean wasn't just about trade. It was the test of courage, wind, and will. This is Cutty Sark, a ghost of the sea. And here in Greenwich, the past doesn't sleep. It sails on quietly under the moonlight. Cutty Sark, she wasn't just fast. She was a legend. Today, she anchored in Greenwich, a floating time capsule of Britain Maritime's power. Standing under her glass, lit in dark, you don't just feel history, you feel the sea, the wind, the chase. Cutty Sark didn't retire. No, she didn't just retire, but she just came home. So as we move around the ship, we looked in every crevice and corner. Here we go. So these are the little bunk beds that these sailors were sleeping on. Have a look. The way they washed their clothes and hung them out inside their own room. The beds are so small that they probably fit one person, but maybe two persons sleep in it. There was no mattress. It was just a bunk bed. Look at all those bunk beds. This is inside the Cutty Sark, where you'll find how the people that sails on the ship lives. And I will say them very well. As the sun fades and the sky deepens, I feel myself face to face with a legend. The legend is Cutty Sark, dark and timeless, beautiful, preserved. Once the fastest sea clipper on the sea, now resting proudly in Greenwich, holding stories of stormy nights, salt-stained decked, and the chase of wind and fortune. Walking beneath her steel frame at night feels different, like stepping into a portal where history hums quietly through the timber. The shadow stretches long. The ship towers above. And even the stillness, you can almost feel it moves, like it remembered the ocean. This is more than a museum piece. It's a soul of the sea, a whisper from the past, a reminder that adventure never really ends. Let's keep moving. The night's still young, and London has more stories to share. Enjoy the rest of the vlog. This is more than a museum piece. It's a sound of the sea, a whistle from the past, a reminder that adventures never really ends. The shadows stretch long, the ship towers above, and even the stillness, you can almost feel it moves like it's remembering the ocean. Walking beneath our steel frame at night feels different, like stepping into a portal where history hums quietly through the timber.
dangerous work, very adventurous, very dangerous work. Health and safety wasn't a thing. You see people climbing up and down the rigging here on the ship. It's for reference, there's a lovely model of the Cutty Sark just to your right, without any protection whatsoever. Sailors were young as 13, 14. They weren't asked if they could swim before they were taken on board, which just really surprises me. Swimming wasn't necessarily a thing. And look, it's quite a lot of sailors were required to run the Cutty Sark. In the model, you can see her in a full glory with all of the sails set. She had 34 sails. If you laid down all of the tarpaulin, for want of a better word, it would cover about half a football field. That's how much sail. The sails could be extended off the main mast. So you can see you've got the main mast in the middle with the bits going across. Those sails are really heavy, so it's quite hard and dangerous work to manage all of that rigging. So the Cutty Sark needed about 28, 29 crew to keep the Cutty Sark running with the most efficiency. But the ship owner wasn't, he would pay. I mean, you were good sailors, you wanted the best sailors, you wanted sailors that there's no engine, you wanted sailors that you had to work to different parts of the world, cope with.
Yeah. Oh, and it goes reversible.
Yeah, please here.
Yeah. Very nice.
Never seen anything like this.
No. Oh, multitasking.
Hello, Annette. Do you have a headset?
No, I gave it back.
You gave it back already.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you so
yeah.
much.
Should we go down?